Welcome to Xtra Frame, the official video streaming service of the Professional Bowlers Association. And this is Mike J. Laneside from University Pro Shop in San Antonio, Texas, alongside the director of ball testing for Bowling This Month, Eric Martinez, and the powerhouse herself, Jackie Bowling, presenting for the first time a collaboration between Xtra Frame and Bowling This Month. And it's the Ball Testing Program Show brought to you by Bowling This Month. And Eric, all things get started with the lane conditioning process. Take us through the lane conditioning that sets the stage for the ball testing.
Sure thing, Mike. We take our Kegel machine. It's a Kegel ion machine. What we do with that machine is we run 4 different patterns across 4 pairs of lanes. We double strip and run each pair with the pattern we're using. That's to ensure we get all the house shot memory off there and gives us a consistent read-to-read, pattern-to-pattern, month-to-month. What we do is we run the first pair with our shortest pattern, and we increase the length of the pattern as we go along. We use the last pair as our sport pair, and that one's a little bit shorter than the long pattern, but it's also the flattest.
Fans of the Bowling This Month ball reviews are familiar with the testers, the stroker, the tweener, and the cranker, and a 4th bowler is going to be added for this video series, and it's going to be the powerhouse herself, Jackie Bowling. And Jackie, a chance for the first time to test out product. Are we looking forward to that?
Definitely, I am looking forward to that. Not only to test the new ball, but also be a part of this first time ever production of the ball testing scenario that goes on. So not only to be a part of it, but to test all the different Kegel patterns that I've never bowled on before, along with the sport pattern that they provide as well. And I'm excited.
Well, we've learned about the lane conditioning program. Eric, talk us through how the lanes will be set up, what lanes will be in use, and what patterns are at play.
We are using the last 4 pair at the bowling center to test at. The very last pair is Kegel's Easy Street pattern. It's 38 feet in length. The medium pattern is Main Street. It's 41 feet in length. The long, heavier pattern that we test on is High Street. It's 44 feet in length. And then the sport pattern we use is Winding Road, which measures 39 feet in length.
We've now set the parameters for the lane conditions, courtesy of our sponsors at Kegel. And now one of the big questions that comes up, Eric, is who are the testers? We know the cranker.
We sure do. He's sitting right here. It's myself. I am the cranker. I throw the graph that is the tester graph. I also go in afterwards and take all the data from all 3 testers and write up all the reviews. So all the text you see in there is all my writings and my creations. Tweener's got a lower rev rate than myself. Equal speed to revs makes him a tweener. Then we have our stroker. It's actually a female. A lot of viewers and readers are going to be surprised at that. But she's a typical stroker. Lower rev rate, lower ball speed, and much straighter through the entire lane.
So we've got tweener and stroker and cranker and Jackie Bowling into the mix. And Jackie, have we come up with a category for you?
Well, I think I'm more on the stroker side, but I have a pretty high speed, so maybe a little more of a higher end stroker, not quite a tweener.
All right, we'll come up with a word for that. And as we move along with the process, we now have the lane conditions, and we've identified who the testers are and what to be looking for. The next procedure is, Eric, the Digitrax. Take us through the procedure for getting the information that you need to complete your ball reviews.
Most definitely. The first thing we do is we take the right-hand lane of each pattern and we warm up. We're going to take a ball we bowl league with or something that, just to get loose. We know where the shot is. We bowl in that pattern month after month. The right lane use is pretty much just to get comfortable, get loose, everything like that. What we're going to do the last 2 or 3 shots is we're going to take whatever ball we're testing, make sure we find a pretty good strike line with it, and then we're going to move over to the left-hand lane, and we're going to graph those shots going down the lane. We try and get an average between 5 and 6 shots on the Digitrax program. We run the averages, and the average is the graph we see in the magazine.
And Jackie, we're looking forward to testing you out. You're looking to get the form of Jackie Bowling on the Digitrax?
Well, I'm actually a little nervous. Hopefully it doesn't look awful. But, yeah, I'm excited to be tracked, my shots and seeing what the results were.
Well, a couple of things as we get into the Digitrax. Also will be the layout of the bowling balls for each of the type of players involved, and also surface adjustments that can be made to the ball. Eric, first, let's tackle the layouts for the equipment for each of the 3 players.
Sure thing. For the stroker is where we start. It's the strongest layout between the stroker and cranker. Tweener's the ball we max out on, but stroker is still a fairly aggressive layout. And that's because of the lower rev rate. We need to make sure that ball reads the lane, reads the middle part, and still hooks even on the slicker patterns. Tweener, like I said, we use the max out specs. We drill it 3 3/8 from the axis. Absolutely put a low weight hole, kick the core numbers up of that ball so it can perform at its absolute best. Tweener's ball is where we get all our numbers from for the length back in. All the top section of our ball review, those numbers come off a tweener on the medium pattern. So it's very important that that ball is the strongest drilled of the 3. Then my own ball, it's a weaker layout, about 4.5-inch pin, still down just in case to make that ball read the pattern in the right part of the lane.
And then once we get into the testing process across the different lane conditions, there's still the ability to make adjustments to the cover stock.
This is where the actual ball testing part begins and the Digitrax ends. After we find the pattern that the ball is best suited for, that's the one we're going to graph it on. That's the graph you're going to see in the magazine. Going lane to lane, we're going to see the ball going down the lane on patterns it's not specifically designed for. Sometimes we're surprised and a weaker ball will perform better on the heavier volume patterns. The majority of the time, not so much, and that's where the surface adjustments come into play.
And Jackie, the powerhouse herself, you're not unfamiliar with how to make surface adjustments on the powerhouse equipment, are you?
No, actually, after a quick demo with Chris Barnes a couple stops back, I was able to learn that process, and I'm excited to be able to apply that with my ball that I'm going to be using out there and get to the spinner and actually change the surface on it myself.
Well, we're looking forward to see Jackie Bowling in action on the lane. So now we have the lane conditions, we have the testers, we have the equipment used, we have the Digitrax, we have ball adjustments, and Eric, all together, all of that information produces the ball reviews that we've come to know over the years in Bowling This Month magazine.
It sure does, Mike. What we're going to do is we're going to have Jackie fill out our standard sheet as she's going pair to pair. She's going to let us know what adjustments she's made to the surface of that ball to make it work on the patterns. She's going to write down her adjustments with her feet and her target. All those elements combined from all the testers all go into the comment section of that ball review to give readers as much information as we possibly can about what that bowling ball does.
So for the first time ever on Xtra Frame in collaboration with Bowling This Month, we're going to take the ball reviews right off the page and put it right in your homes via Xtra Frame, the official video streaming service of the PBA Tour. It's Mike J. Laneside alongside the Director of Ball Testing for Bowling This Month magazine, Eric Martinez, and the powerhouse Jackie Bowling. And this program would not be possible without the help of our great sponsors at Kegel, at Vice, at Powerhouse, and at Bowling This Month. For subscription information on all the great ball reviews out there, it's bowlingthismonth.com. Thanks for joining us on Xtra Frame.